gonna use a pair of weight. I did. We gotta
Those
get in the
are
Christmas
awesome.
spirit too. Next we're gonna do Mufasa, okay?
Okay,
Can't
thank
wait.
you.
One of the things that I really love about this movie is we kind of see the origin stories of all the characters that we grew up on. But I really love that there's a moment in the film where each of your characters discover their strength. They discover their own power. And so what I want to know for all of you is like, what was that moment in your life that you realized the strength that you possessed inside?
Wow.
We're gonna go deep. We're gonna go a little bit deep,
No,
okay?
I had to find it.
I mean, there's several, but I'll go with this one. I quit acting like in 2016.
Whoa.
I want to say I've been doing it since I was 8, and I was like, I'm done. Like, this wear me out. Like, and it actually took a lot. People would be like, don't quit. And, you need to stick through it. Especially, I feel like for black people, it's like, you just got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep going. And that's true in certain situations, but you also need to know, like, where your limit is and what you need to do to take care of yourself and when to say enough is enough. And in that moment, I needed to say enough was enough. And that took a lot of strength to actually say, here's this dream I've had my whole life, but is it what is still serving me? And I quit for a year, and I created a floral design business, and I spent my time in my kitchen making floral arrangements for people and delivering them by hand, and just really spending time getting back into what I love, which is just being creative and doing it and sharing joy with people. And once I did that for a year, then I was like, all right, I can go back into acting. And I had a whole new mindset about it, but it did take, I was very afraid, but it took a lot of strength, I think, to just stop. And then I did it again. Here we are.
Wow.
I love that.
That's incredible.
Okay.
I needed that. Thank you.
You still got the floral business?
I stopped that. I have no time for it.
Okay, girl. I was like, let me go
Because
place
I'm
the
booked
order.
and busy.
No,
Okay.
but like I will still make arrangements for friends and for special occasions and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I have your number.
Yeah, you do.
How about you?
Oh.
Yeah, you got answer too.
You thought you got out of it?
Right. I think sometimes I don't really know. I will say on this last job I had, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I really want to deliver, always. And I think there was something about doing the opposite of what I used to call superstar mode, which is when you show up and you kind of put on a mask and you just deliver and you give charisma and you're a lead and blah, 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 blah. And it was all performance. It was performance on camera and off camera. And then eventually I was like, I'm tired. And I was working with Davon Joy Randolph on this last movie, and she was like, baby, release that. Release this pressure of trying to show up for these people. They just want you. You're gifted. You have everything. You were born with everything you need to thrive in this life. And the moment I did that, I was like, I'm having a good time at work again. And I felt powerful again. And I felt secure again. So that was the moment. It was like 3 months ago. Or maybe 6 months ago now, I don't know. But where I was just kind of like, let's just have fun. That's where my power comes from, fun. Yeah.
I think for me, for the longest time, I would say, what's meant for me won't miss me. But I was saying it and I was not applying it in my actual life. I was saying it because it sounded good. And I was saying it because it made me feel like I was doing it, but I really wasn't. And then I think not too long ago, I actually started to believe it. And that brought me a tremendous amount of peace, and it allowed me to set free an enormous amount of anxiety about what the future holds. Because I'm very much somebody who, I can be hyper-focused on the future, and it's out of gratitude for the blessings that I have, but it's because I want to make sure I'm always doing my best for myself and my family and my friends. But just saying to myself, what's meant for me won't miss me, it gives me freedom, and it brings me joy in the present moment.
Y'all bodied that. Y'all bodied that question. Y'all poured into me. I'm like, damn, let me go to therapy after this. Okay? Look, I just want to thank all of you so much. Thank you for taking time out of your day to always speak with me. I'm just sending nothing but love in like all your ways, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank
y'all
you.
so
I really
much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Love
it. Thank you.
When I'm watching everyone in the snow, and that's when I had the moment like, damn, like Barry really put in some work with this. Because that entire scene, it just looks so real. I felt like I was there with them.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about how challenging it was creating a film like this. How did that challenge you as a director?
Oh, it was really cool. The OG Lion King, 1994, is sort of set in this region very near to sort of Kenya. And it's really beautiful, and the remake of 2019 covers all those same landscapes, but as you saw in the film, Mufasa gets washed away, I'll say, very simply, and then he has to go on this journey across the continent. And so working with our production designer, Mark Freeberg, we actually like mapped out where the characters would actually journey, and we realized there was all this amazing fauna landscape on the African continent that was directly related to the story of The Lion King. And we had all these tools and we could create anything we wanted. And so we reached out to people all over the continent on this journey we actually mapped out, and they sent back to us, this is the most interesting thing about my landscape, this is the most interesting thing about the place that I grew up. And we just started building those things in our virtual reality, virtual production. And the snow sequence, I like to call it, it was one of the ones that we really leaned into because I don't think there's ever been snow in The Lion King, and we just wanted to crush it.
No, you did that. You crushed it.
Yeah, thank you.
I was like, okay. But, okay. Always Wanted a Brother, bop. Okay?
Hey, thank you.
That's my song. We finna head on repeat when the soundtrack comes out, okay?
That makes me very happy. Thank you.
I want to know, as a songwriter, what does that process look like to you? Like reading the scripts and knowing which lines are going to actually be turned into the song for the film.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting. I had a very rare experience in reading the script for the first time. It was really clear, and that's not always the case when you're reading a script. Sometimes when people ask for you to, you know, write music for their screenplays, like the music is almost an afterthought. But there was such care taken to when the music needed to carry the emotion in this film that it was very clear, to the point where I would say almost half the titles of the songs are actually taken from lines of dialogue in that original script. I Always Wanted a Brother was a line of dialogue. You actually hear it when Taka says, "I have a secret, Mufasa. I always wanted a brother." I was like, that's my song title. I'm taking that.
Like,
Same with...
literally happened. Literally happened.
Same with Tell Me It's You, which was sung in the snow. And so I had the blessing of a really intelligent, well-written script as my cue to where the music could carry the ball.
But I like this whole idea of brotherhood, of it. You don't have to be connected by blood. You know, you have your chosen family. So I want to know, like, working on a project like this, like, how is your brotherhood bond? How has that grown after working on this film?
Oh, man.
That's so deep. I mean, I gotta be honest, I've never made a musical before, and so it was really cool to, like, come in and be, like, unsure, to be a little bit fearful, like, how do I make a movie with songs? Then have someone who's done it, just be very open. You know, they say in fear we shrink, in love we expand.
Aww.
And instead of shrinking in fear, I said, hey, bruh, can you help me? You know, and this song we were talking about, I Always Wanted a Brother, I'll never forget getting on Zoom with Lin and him going, that's the song. When Taka says, I always wanted a brother. And he just started riffing, and I was like, okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, this gentleman is going to share this burden with me. He's gonna share this challenge with me. And yeah, I think everybody who worked on the film sort of feels that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barry is selling himself short. He's so musical. And that's not always the case with directors, but he has such a good instinct for what the song needs to do.
I actually sang the demo.
Yeah, that's Mufasa.
I need y'all to release that.
To be released in 2025.
Right. And so it was a really joyful collaboration. You know, Lion King's an intimidating legacy. It's in our cultural bloodstream as a global culture. And so, but Barry's just one of my favorite filmmakers, so I knew I'd learn a lot from this collaboration.
Look, I just want to thank you both. I really enjoyed that movie. Like, I really enjoyed the film. I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your days to speak with me. It means a lot. And I'm just continuing to send love and light both your ways. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Really like that with this one, it talks a lot about brotherhood and not having like your family by blood, like your chosen family. And now that we're 2 films in, I want to know for you, like, how has that brotherhood evolved with Seth, but also too, how has it evolved your relationship with the franchise?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very relatable theme, and certainly for me, you know, chosen family is a huge part of my life in the LGBTQ community. In my real life, Seth is not, but I'm working on it. No, I'm just kidding. No, so I think that's so relatable for so many people out in the world, and I'm really happy that's a theme in the movie. And Timon and Pumbaa are chosen family for each other. They're best friends. They make fun of each other a lot, but that's just part of how they communicate and part of the comic relief they bring to the movie.
I like also too, like, the jokes that they have, like, you know, it's a kid movie, but it's like for the adults.
Yes.
So like, I'm laughing. I'm like, I know these kids not about to get this, but
exactly. I think Timon and Pumbaa, especially in this one, are there to like A little bit for the adults,
Okay.
I think, you know, to keep. Although the whole movie it's not a kids movie in any way. I don't think. I mean, it's for kids, but I think there's so much action, there's so much adventure. Like, I found myself on the edge of my seat, and I'm old. But yes, I do think Timon and Pumbaa's comedy in this movie. I think the adults. There are definitely some jokes in there for the older crowd.
Is there a joke that you've ever wanted to put into the film that you just like, we cannot do this because it's a family film?
Oh my God, we improvise so much that I forget. I'm sure there are things that I think when we're recording, oh, that's gonna make it in the movie, and then it doesn't. But that's not my decision. But I don't even remember what those things are, because it was so, we ad-lib so much. Yeah.
But I like that in this one, it's this whole idea of storytelling, like passing down these stories so the new generations can still retain them. Like, what's the story for you that's kind of been passed down in your family that you kind of want to keep that legacy going for?
Oh God. I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's probably like some, I don't know, it's like I think about the pop culture that I grew up loving, which the original Lion King was part of that. I loved all those Disney movies growing up, like I was a kid, late 80s, 90s. And I wonder, like, do kids now, a friend of mine has a 10-year-old daughter now, and I said to her, do you know who Madonna is? And no insult to Madonna, who's like my favorite artist ever, but she kind of didn't know. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much work to be done with these children.
We got to teach the kids.
You got to teach. I looked at my friend,
happening?
Her mom, I said, what are you teaching these kids?
What kind of parent are you?
So yeah, I think my goal is to like make sure children know about Madonna, basically.
I think that's a really good goal.
I think so too.
We got to start work now. We're behind.
Exactly.
Okay? But I mean, also too, I think that when I look at Timon and Pumbaa, I like that we have these unlikely heroes. You know, like anybody can be a hero no matter who they are, no matter how big or how small.
Yeah.
So, but I want to know for you, like, what was that moment when you knew that you could be a hero?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm still waiting for that moment. I don't know if I'm a hero, but you know, I hope that's very nice of you. I would hope that I got to give the graduation speech this year at the college I graduated from, which was very cool. And you're like staring at these, you know, 20, 21-year-olds about to enter the world. That makes you feel very old, but it also makes you feel like maybe you've done something in your life that people feel like you have some advice to give. So that was very cool, and that made me feel good.
Okay, so you're a hero. Okay,
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you you're a hero.
All right, thank you.
And we're gonna teach the kids about Madonna. Okay.
Exactly. Oh, my whole speech was about Madonna. Trust me.
Look, I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I'm just sending love and light your way. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you so much. I received that.